is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, the Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, the Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Hello, everybody. What is going on in your world? My name is Conor McGilligan. This is One Leeds, and of course, this is the Rumour Mill. What's going on in your world, everybody? Sheldon says, morning, Conor, Subway at 12 or doner kebab tonight? I'd go Subway at 12, mate. That's what I'd say. But good to see you all in the building today, everybody. Listen, let us know what you think in the comment section below as well regarding the game yesterday. We are going to get onto that. We are going to get into a few intricate details, but obviously you can see on screen there a little bit of a done deal for Anton Stach. I think listen, when you've got the Hoffenheim sporting director effectively turning around and saying, yeah, that's pretty much done, then look, I'm going to go with the done deal on that one. But we'll go with nearly done deal. How about that? But let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below when it comes to that, everybody. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below as well when it comes to Leeds United's performance yesterday, some standouts, some stand downs, and everything else when it comes to it, because there's going to be some interesting bits that we're going to get onto today, of which I want to talk about as well. You know, when it comes to the starting 11, what we may be looking at, players that are effectively leaving the club or will be leaving the club in the near future, and the moving parts that is Leeds United. So let's see who's in the comment section below, shall we? Let's have a look. Marseille do have the money now, apparently. Yes, I am not surprised that all of the comments here are pretty much revolving around one thing. Morning, Connor, and all shame about Paixao, but Stach is a brilliant signing. We look great in defence and midfield. Just another couple of stars up front, and we are looking good indeed. I'm pretty sure they won't be good. Some of the mad thing is about the 49ers. They've got the money to get this one done. We won't get Muniz if we don't get Igor. Sad times. I don't think so, Ethan. I don't know why those two are related, mate. I don't see that. Lee says a 30 million agreement is almost finalised for Paixao. Typical Leeds, always trying to buy players on the cheap. Lessons not learned. But yeah, Lee Sussy says, Connor, the first syllable in Paixao is pronounced pie, not pay. Thank you, mate. Okay, so we'll go Paixao. There we go. Okay, Winky Face. Hi, mate. How's it going? Morning, Connor. Love the Sunday Live. Let's get Money signed up after Stach comes. I agree with you, buddy. I agree that would be a lovely signing, wouldn't it? Paixao, thank you. Stussy as well would have been absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it, as well? But morning, Connor. Great channel, pal. Watching from Spain. Shout out to you, Dave. And everybody, if I could request you all hitting a like on the video. Amazing. I have to say as well, crazy yesterday. We never have had a watch along hit those types of numbers. So you guys fully engaged yesterday. Amazing. Thank you so much for your support. And as well, the review after the game did some really good numbers as well. So thank you so much for your support the other day. Vite said, Stach injured for a month. No, he is not. Don't get to the bait, everybody. But yeah, that's the rumor, and that's the confirmation really when it comes to the mill this morning. In a sense, when it comes to Anton Stach, Hoffenheim sporting director was asked about it effectively yesterday. And according to several sources, he turned around and said, you know, effectively, we know the clear path now, whatever that translation is, but we know the clear path now when it comes to Anton Stach. So I think all roads are leading to Leeds United. Looks like it's 17.4 million quid for one of the top, I'd say, top 5-6 midfielders in the Bundesliga last season. It's a brilliant deal. It's a really good deal for Leeds United. It's one that I'm extremely excited about. There's an argument it's the best deal so far. Him and Yaka, I would say, but probably Stach if you're looking at the amount of clubs that have been in for him over the past 12 to 15 months. It's a really good deal. It's someone who's going to bulk up our midfield in a sense, going to give us that variety, which you're kind of looking at right now and you're thinking, Gruev, decent, okay, not too bad. But Anton Stach is that level up. And we're not comparing Gruev to Stach in that sense, but it is two sixes. You know, two sixes you kind of got to look at right now and think to yourself, well, okay, 100%. Stach is the man who comes in. Stach is the man who impresses, and Stach is the man who probably starts for Leeds United most weeks. I was really impressed with Ethan Ampadu yesterday. Was really impressed with Al Tanaka under a press, under a little bit of distress as well when it comes to Manchester United and that midfield and what they had to cope with in that first half. You know, two almost number 10s in Cunha and Bruno Fernandes. I thought Leeds dealt with it exponentially well. I thought the double pivots in particular, as I say, with Ampadu, who grew into the game, but Tanaka was just a class above, in my opinion, an absolute class above. Not stressed when the ball's coming into them from the centre back, not panicking, you know, taking the easy road, playing it simple, and in certain situations when they can, you know, being a little bit more complicated in their play and being able to bypass a press, being able to play that simple ball, but then as well that complicated ball vertically to you know an advancing player. So was really impressed with that. The decision making through the midfield was really impressive as well. So now he's got a real decision on his hands. We played a 4-3-3 in that first half as well, which aids Sean Longstaff. The 4-3-3 I think would complement Stach as well, but Stach could probably have to sit into that single pivot, that number 6. Whereas, and there might be two number 8s, or you could work out where there's two number 6s, as we mentioned before on the channel, and then a number 8 if you want to be a little bit more defensive, or just a flat midfield 3 in that 4-3-3 system. So a lot of variation, a lot of variety, and a lot of really good profiles. I think that complement them in different ways. And you know, when you're looking at it overall, this is something that I wanted to speak about as well because we are compared to Sunderland a heck of a lot, and I think it is kind of poignant to do so. But you look at their midfield, you know, when it comes to Diarra and when it comes to Siddiqui, and the players that we so called missed out on when it comes to you know the overall transfer, the overall puzzle. You know, bringing Longstaff in and bringing Stach is very different to that of Siddiqui and Diarra, in my opinion, especially when you're looking at the physicality of it. You know, you got two players effective there who might be, you know, sort of siphoned into that. They're very different. And it does beg the question a little bit when it comes to Stach in particular in comparison to Diarra. Let's say if we've got a direct comparison there, both are good ball carriers. Both are decent, very decent in possession. You know, both, once again, is that word press resistant, which is going to be happening in the Premier League a hell of a lot. But the difference between Stach and Longstaff coming in, as we speak right now, to our midfield composition is Sunderland have nearly paid 50 million quid for Siddiqui and Diarra. Leeds United will have paid, what, 29 million? 29 million quid for Stach and Longstaff. So overall, you got to look at that and think to yourself, that is a good bit of business by Leeds United. So I know there's a lot of people upset maybe at Paixao. I get that. I get people who are a little bit in a complicated scenario when it comes to that mental space, when it comes to obviously Paixao. But I think what we should do is look at the bit of recruitment that Leeds United have brought in, the bit that was still rumored to, and the Paixao deal isn't completely done. So we'll get onto that in a little bit. I can't. Hey Pete, how's it going, mate? I'm not cutting out, guys. Sometimes I'm full of cold, basically. So I'm doing this. I'm turning myself down so you don't hear me go or anything like that. So I'm actively doing it. So yeah, hold on. Is there a little bit of lag? Is everything okay? This normally doesn't happen. Should be all right. Let me just have a quick look on the old YouTube and see. I think it's okay, everybody. Should be fine. There's over 1,000 of you in the building. Let's slap a like on the video. It's not playing up, mate. It shouldn't do anyway. Let me just have a little listen. It is cutting out. Weird. Okay. Right. We're just gonna keep talking right now, and we're gonna see how this works. We're gonna see how this works. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to One Leads. My name is Conor McGill again. Blah 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 blah. Are we all good? Are we all good? It's literally sometimes I'm just dragging the old dial down so you don't hear me cold. If that makes sense. But it should be okay. Is it all good? All good. People saying they can barely hear me. Are these just trolls, everybody? There will be trolls on here. So just let us know if some of the regulars get in the comment section. It should be fine. Georgia said Mike's playing up. That's the only reason this shouldn't happen, really. So just let us know. It's fine for me. Your lips are moving, but the audio's in and out, a little bit Norman Collier, Connor. Yeah, it's I'll be honest with you guys, everything is on in the green. Everything is in the green. We could turn it up a little bit, but everything should be absolutely fine. There's nothing that's going wrong. So, right, nope, nope. It is cutting out, Connor. Definitely cutting out. Flipping it. I haven't got a clue. On my YouTube, it's yeah. You guys just leave and come back because this is from my end, it's absolutely fine. And I'll be brutally honest with you as well. On my YouTube, it's absolutely fine as well. So maybe leave and come back in. I don't know, but it is what it is. We're just gonna roll with it. Okay, Igor Paixao. Now, this is slightly disappointing. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I, rumors coming in over well, it's not 35 million quid there, it is 35 million euros when you're looking at Paixão. So we're just gonna have a little bit of a change of that, a little bit of a switcheroo. Disappointing. I'll have to be honest with you guys. This when I heard this, I was gutted. I was because you're kind of looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, this is a deal of which it gets done. It not only moves the needle, but it is an outstanding signing. You know, it's an outstanding signing of which you kind of look at and you think to yourself, flipping out. That should be 35 million euros, by the way, everybody. So apologies, it's 35 million quid. It's just not changing. But someone who I feel on that left hand side would elevate Leeds to a different level. And we genuinely could be talking about Leeds United in a conversation of which it is not just 17th. And I know this might sound crazy. I know this might sound crazy, but if you get Igor Paixão through the door, if you get Rodrigo Muniz and you get Anton Stach, and you're looking at the composition of Leeds United going into next season, you've got three difference makers there, four difference makers there, and you flutter in a goalkeeper with that, potentially a number 10 and a fullback, right? You do all of that. Oh my word. Like you're looking at a Leeds United team, if you get the rest of the profiles right as well, you look at looking at a Leeds United team that maybe could even aim for like 15th. I'm not even kidding, a team that could even aim for 15th. Now, is that realistic? Absolutely not, because this division is so tough. And I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I am expecting the expectancy, unfortunately, is 18th. That's what it is. We've now taken 18th place off Sunderland, in my opinion, with some of the signings we're going to be and have brought in. That's the expectancy, but a trophy will be 17th. We're all very aware of that and dragging some teams in, but you absolutely never know if teams have big injuries. You know, Brentford, West Ham, Wolves, who knows? I actually think Wolves will do quite well this season, but dragging some teams into it, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, you never know. You absolutely never know. And I think this is probably going to be the best, I would say, equipped three in the past two seasons. I think, when you put into context a lot of what has come up and what has gone down, there's a lot of really poor teams with ultimately a lot of poor preparation as well. So that's something to take into account. But Igor Paixão, if you guys don't know, looks like, according to Santi Aruna last night, he will be moving to Marseille. Sacha Tavaleri as well. He will be moving to Marseille, as reported on it. Now, these two don't always get everything right, but it was out of the blue yesterday. It really was when it comes to Paixão. I think a lot of us were like, oh, there's talks with Leeds. We were actually doing a piece on One Leeds about, well, we actually had a Dutch reporter who was going to be coming on the channel, and he's a guy who I've spoken to for years when it's come to a bit of work in the journalism space. He's very, very good. You guys might have known. You guys might know him as well. And I thought to myself, you know what a brilliant, brilliant acquisition this is. And I thought I'll bring him on. He knows the detail all about Paixão and what he's done in the Dutch league, obviously. And unfortunately, Marseille have come in, and from a scenario of which they've got no money, of which we were all very much thinking that's them out the race. Out of nowhere, 35 million euros appears, or 36 million euros, if you're looking at some reports, appears to be the figure. Now that they've agreed with Feyenoord, and there's rumours this morning saying that there's going to be a medical impending, or pending, I should say. Now, I think the interesting thing is, when you look at a Leeds United perspective, I don't know if Leeds were willing to pay 30 million quid, which is what it is, by the way. It says 35 million quid on there. That's meant to say euros. So it's 30 million quid. So if you go and get Igor Paixão, I think I think they'll get Muniz. I think Muniz is going to be in around 35 million quid. So you look at those two combined, that's 70 million quid, right? Leeds have then already spent 30 million quid. You've then got to have player sales. You've then got to bring in a 10, which is going to be 15 million easy, right? Okay. That's what? 115 million quid. You've then got to bring in fullback cover. Is that going to be another 10? You know, you're talking 125 then. You've then got to bring in a goalkeeper, 20 million quid. But I guess this is the kind of ballpark that we're playing in anyway when it came to the 49ers and how much we are going to spend. But it's very, very dependent because we'll have to be accountants nowadays. It's very much dependent on what Leeds let go as well. And I thought it was very definitive the other night, last night in particular, when Daniel Farke said, Patrick Bamford will not be involved in my plans next season. Now, for me, that's a striker out. They've spoken about Joseph spoke about Joseph yesterday as well, which we'll get into in just a second. But for me, now you've got potentially two striker options out the door. And that's, for me, that is just an absolute walking for Rodrigo Muniz. Now, the frustrating thing about this is with Paixão is we felt that it was going to a point of which Leeds were the club now. Marseille were out the race. Arsenal were nowhere near it. Tottenham were nowhere near it. Juve had interest in January. They were nowhere near it. And you thought to yourself, right, here we go. But out of absolutely nowhere, it appears that Marseille have now got the coin. Now, I guess the other frustrating thing is Tim Weah. Okay, it looks like they're getting very, very close to Tim Weah. Now, the difference is Tim Weah occupies on the right-hand side. Igor Paixão occupies himself on the left. So for a lot of people saying, oh, well, Tim Weah is going to come in. What about, that means Paixão might come to Leeds? It doesn't. That doesn't mean that, Tim Weah can occupy that right-hand side. So, yeah, looks like they're trying to build a bit of a super squad out there in France to maybe compete with PSG, which they never will, in my opinion. Now the gap's too big. But, yeah, shame. Real shame for me, this one, I would say. So let's have a look at what you guys are saying. 1.1K in, 281 likes. Come on, Leeds. Yeah, appreciate that as always, Andrew. Thank you so much, mate. Guys, wrap those likes up. Sujal says, let's have a look, Sujal. Morning, Connor and all. It's going to be tough, but we have to be encouraged by the performance yesterday. I know I don't understand football like many of you, but we look good. Don't do yourself dirty, mate. Cheers, Tim. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, so Rafa leaving Barca, bringing back, says Pete. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it, mate? That would be very, very nice. But yeah, I think that's the shame. That's the shame because I personally believe that would have been the needle mover. That would have been the needle mover. But let's look at the positives. Anton Stach coming in is a needle mover. If Rodrigo Muniz comes in, it is a needle mover. Do you know what it is, everybody? It's just a kindly reminder and a timely reminder that if it's not done, it's not done. Now, we were speaking on here, not as if it was done, but we were excited. I was really excited for Paixão. And could there be a bit of a hijack? Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? I've got a feeling now Leeds will move on. There's been names that have been rumored around, like Bakwa at Strasbourg as well, who actually occupies a little bit more on that right-hand side. So I don't know how that would work. But yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see, I guess. We'll wait and see. Jimmy says 2 summers in the row. Olympic Marseille pipped our targets like row. Not only that, mate, but a little bit of a test as well. Who was the other one? It was Mickey Cuisance, wasn't it? Mickey Cuisance about 3 or 4 years ago. That was the other one, wasn't it? Well, probably more than that now. And actually, we were kind of happy that they got him in the end, weren't we, from Bayern Munich? So, yeah. Morning, Connor from Malta. Thought Matteo Joseph was leaving. Why does he want him staying? Oh, I don't think he does, mate. I don't think he does. Timmy says, I'm really keen on Sarah, to be honest with you. Yeah, in that number 10. But you've kind of got to look at it as well with the money that we're spending. You've got to see some income in when it comes to transfer fees as well. I think that's the big thing right now when it comes to Leeds United as well. Okay, so this one, Guiu, pricked my ears yesterday. Leeds United apparently interested in the youngster. Now, this would probably be facilitated by maybe Matteo Joseph going out the other way, you would presume, which would mean, let's say, if Bamford does go, if Joseph does go, then you've got Peru, you've got Nemecha, and one other. I don't think Leeds will be having 4 strikers, if I'm honest with you. So I don't really see this one happening. But there was a few rumours yesterday suggesting that Leeds are in for him. Now, okay, looks like a really promising player. Came from Barcelona to Chelsea. He's not getting any minutes. I mean, Leeds were interested in this guy in January. We did a report on him in January, and it feels like maybe a championship move is the right move for someone like Guiu. But yeah, I guess fits the mold of someone very similar to Gonzalo Garcia, who we were interested in at Real Madrid. He's a very similar profile. Obviously, Garcia's been given his chance now and has taken it from Real Madrid Castilla into the first team. So it looks like he's taken his chance, which has been great, but very similar profile to that of Guiu. You know, occupies that penalty box space really nice. A bit of a fox in the box, a bit of a poacher. Someone who's got a good technical level, left and right foot as well. Good ball striker. But yeah, it's. I mean, we spoke about this guy in January. It would be a very odd for me, a very odd signing, but it would be someone who would maybe replace that Matteo Joseph. I can't imagine he's going to get that much time. There's been conversation about it being a loan. Okay. And you've got to think as well, if you are bringing this guy in on a permanent, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. It is going to cost you quite a bit of money. There's a lot of, there's a big upward trajectory with him. Chelsea were very keen on him, but now, you know, with the going down and down and down, they brought Liam Delap in. Obviously, they've still got Nkunku there, haven't they? You know, they brought in João Pedro. So where is he getting in the striker? I don't know if he does. So yeah, a loan would make sense, I guess, but I was thinking much more of a championship buy that one. Much more of a championship buy. Jay says, yeah, Mark doesn't make sense to me. Surely you would just keep Joseph. Yeah, that's where I'm looking at. I think he can play number 10, though, if I'm honest with you. That's what we spoke about a little bit earlier as well when it came to the rumors. Let's have a little look if he can play the number 10. We are speaking as if he is an out and out an out and out number 9. Let's have a little look at his youth sheet. No, it is. It's more of a centre forward, and that's what I always thought it was. I've just seen Luke's comment there, and I wondered if there was a bit of a number 10 there as well. So yes, but no, it doesn't look like it. It looks like a lot of his appearances have been in the number 9 position. So I don't think it makes that much sense, to be honest with you. It doesn't clear for me. It doesn't clear for me. Carl, I don't know if you're watching on another platform, mate, but it shouldn't be. I'm watching myself on YouTube, mate, and there is no cutting out here whatsoever. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, mate. There's a couple of people on the watch along as well mentioning that apparently, apparently there's a few issues, and then as soon as you went onto YouTube, put 1080p in, which is on the settings, the system settings on the screen, it's absolutely fine. So, morning, Connor. Would you consider Roland Salai as an option? Lee flipping it. What a cast back that is, mate. I know he's gone to a worst club, the worst club ever. I think there's a decent player in him. There was, mate. Obviously, he occupied himself, didn't he, on that right hand side as well? Strong, 6 foot, 6'1". Yeah, I like Salai. We did a lot of discussion about him last window, didn't we? Yeah, I like him. I don't know if he'd be able, it's interesting. You've not heard any rumors about him though. Normally, when it's on the short list, you do hear bits and bats, and it it rears its ugly head again. Maybe a little bit like Mark here, maybe a little bit like others that we've spoken about. So yeah, I don't know, mate. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Okay, so a little bit of something as well. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Tommaso Pobega, lots of rumors today suggesting that apparently Leeds United were in for him, the midfielder. I didn't hear anything about this when it came to Pobega. 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 You poor beggar. But yeah, I didn't hear much about him, if I'm honest with you guys. He was an AC Milan product, obviously in the central midfield space. Maybe he was a bit of a reserve option to Anton Stach. I'm not sure, but he's secured or he's re-signed with Bologna, or he's going through his medical and he's about to re-sign, similar to Anton Stach with us in terms of that progression. Central midfielder looks quite dynamic on the ball as well. Plays in a double pivot, can play a little bit further forward as well. Looks decent, looks half decent. Had a little bit of a look on him this morning, but I can't imagine Leeds United are going to go in for another central midfielder. I think if anything, you might have Gruev sticking around, but I don't see where Gruev will be getting in, no matter what he says in terms of trying to prove himself and all this sort of stuff. When you've got a midfield 4, I see us going to a 3 at points as well. Farke's going to have to do that to get the best out of maybe like a long staff if needed. And a flat midfield 3 would aid Leeds United in several ways as well. So yeah, strange one, but yeah. Okay. Should we talk about it? Shall we talk about it? Discourse, debate, discussion. Get your thoughts in the comment section below. We are going to be talking about this because I think I'm a little bit frustrated about it. And I'm going to read out what Farke said about it, if I'm honest with you. So there was boos for him yesterday, which I don't massively agree with, but you pay your money, you know, you say whatever, say and do whatever you want really when it comes to booing and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so something that pricked my ears a little bit again. Farke has addressed what happened with Harrison in terms of his popularity with fans. in a conversation between the pair. Farke said, it totally depends on how he uses his chance. So I think he's a great guy, a hard worker, a reliable player, and has proven this on the Premier League level. When? What with us? That's quite normal in this situation. Once I arrived here 2 years ago, this is exactly what I said would happen. It is literally verbatim, isn't it? It's absolutely what we said what would happen at the very beginning. In fact, we're going to screenshot it and get it on screen. I am frustrated with this one. I'll be honest. This particular one has got my back up a little bit when it comes to Harrison, because I don't get why he's doing this. Farke. I mean, maybe there's a bigger picture to it. There's a bigger picture to it when it comes to, trying to get a little bit more value out of him, and just saying this and getting him in the picture so stock's a little bit higher. That's quite normal in this situation. Once I arrived here 2 years ago, I remember everyone on the back of Junior Firpo and Tommy's the worst sign ever. He can't defend. No one said that, Daniel. No one said he's the worst sign ever. I said, no, this guy will do miracles for us on championship level. And right now, he has left a hero. And even today, everyone was singing his name. I had a similar situation, Brendan Harrison, who was out on loan before, and everybody's really angry once he turned back. There's still a few bits and parts in his game that he can improve. But one thing is certain. He has proven last season that he wants to work. I don't know what that means. It's he wants to work his socks off. Reliable, good guy. Hearing all these sort of buzz phrases. And he wants to work his socks off at the club. And doing so, he has also won the support and trust of all the support. Well, he hasn't. Brendan Harrison hasn't. I can tell you that for a fact, running a fan channel. He hasn't won all the fans back. So, yeah, I don't know. It just, I think, and he goes on to say, it's not the same for Jack. He has all the chances to do this. I've told him it's not just one good training session or one good friendly or one good game to win the trust back. You have to show quality and consistency in what you're doing. It's the first good step to say. I have to say, so last 2 weeks in training, he has worked very, very hard. But yeah, it's up to him to prove. So basically, he's giving Harrison a chance, which I knew he would do. And I knew he would do. We said this at the very beginning of the window. Harrison comes back. If Everton don't get him, Leeds will struggle to sell him. And I knew this would happen. We said it on the channel. All you guys were there as well when we said it right at the beginning. He's going to use this Verba thing. Oh, he's not mentioned Verba, has he? He left that one out. But he's going to mention, Firpo, and he's going to mention, Brendan Harrison. Not that Brendan Harrison proved himself last year, and we're all aware of that. He played every single minute, and there's some good moments, but he didn't prove himself last season. Firpo definitely did, 100%, but we didn't see him at Premier League level. But it just frustrates the life out of me, that. And maybe we just can't move him on. Maybe we're going to have to make a loss on him, and Leeds can't do that when it comes to a PSL standpoint. That's the balanced approach. But yeah, it did bother me yesterday seeing him start. And, I think it's just a bit negative, isn't it? It's a negative way of approaching the game. And we were speaking about, and everybody was saying the same thing. It's shop window effect. But I was saying back, I was like, well, what shop window is it? He's been a Premier League player somehow for the last 2 years. He's played Premier League football, 4 or 5 years now? How much shop window effect does it need? We're going to be playing him against Villarreal for the shop window. I think that's a bit of an excuse. I don't think it's a shop window. I think Farke genuinely wants to see him. He genuinely wants to see him as an option. Because maybe he falls into this whole thing as proven player, which is now a brand new thing. So, yeah, I'm just, it's not something I'm happy about whatsoever. He's nowhere near good enough. You saw it yesterday again. In the Championship, he'd have been my 5th winger. This is how drastic it is with Jack Harrison. Genuine, and this is no disrespect whatsoever. I'd have had Jadon Anthony back over Jack Harrison. And I know they're a different position, but, Jadon can cut in off that left-hand side, can't he? And he had a good season last season, didn't he, for Burnley? But I'd have had Jadon Anthony back over Jack Harrison. You saw yesterday just the complete limitations of the guy. I don't think he's that physical either. I don't think he's great in a duel. I think he's a bit mild and meek. And once again, anytime he goes forward and is faced by a good fullback, he just goes back. And he's a negative football player, in my opinion. He's a negative football player. And for last season, 38 appearances and 1 goal. And he's playing so much. He's playing under Dyche. He's playing under Moyes. And they like him. And a lot of managers like players like Jack Harrison nowadays because he's a workhorse and he works hard. But he's going to provide you no quality. And Leeds need quality. And I'm not saying he's going to start. He's not going to start. We all know that. And it just irritates me. Like even yesterday, you saw when Ramazani came on, just the difference immediately. And I was happy people got to see that because people still clown on Ramazani for whatever reason. And I just think if Jack Harrison gets a couple of goals, then it's all going to change. But we all know what happens with Jack. He's hot and cold, Harrison. It's pulling his shorts up when he makes a mistake and looking up at the sky. It's in ballooning the ball in when he's got a real opportunity to deliver a good cross with a left foot. He doesn't do it. He did it twice yesterday. And I just, yeah, I want to see, in that spot, I want to see Ramazani, or I want to see Nonto, maybe James on the right, or a new signing, a new signing. Hopefully that's what will happen. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But I do not want to see this guy involved at all. I don't want to see him involved at all. And it's not even from a personal level. It's from a level of which he's nowhere near good enough. He's never, for Bielsa, he was decent. He was still a cluster player. I was never sold on him, if I'm honest with you. I think he was a hard worker. He had a couple of good spells, I thought, but he's never developed. And you can literally get this conversation I'm making right now and I'm talking about right now, and you can compare it when I was with another channel on All Leeds TV 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and you hear the exact same thing. There's been no development in his game, no evolution, and there will not be an evolution in his game. So Leeds are maybe going on from a standpoint of, oh, we want to put him in the shop window, but I don't get that. 2 years he's been in the shop window for Everton. He's been in the shop window for Everton, as in like, go and buy him, please. But they haven't done so. They've not taken that up. So yeah, slightly frustrating, as you can tell, everybody. I just had that's my first proper rant of the season, I think. So yeah, as Jared says, ask Everton. Ask, literally, you can ask any of them. Ask any Everton fan you ever come across about Jack Harrison. None of them are going to say anything like, oh, he's a, yeah, oh yeah, Jack's, yeah, we'd have Jack back. None of them would. So it is what it is. So that, yeah, and when he's saying stuff like that, when he's, oh, we're gonna give him a chance, Daniel, no, don't give him a chance. Don't do this. And you're also giving him a chance in the Championship would have annoyed me. Giving him a chance in the Premier League when we need, I think you saw the lack of production on that left. The right was brilliant. I loved our right side yesterday. It came to, but Bogle was brilliant. I thought Nonto was excellent. Tanaka was excellent. Ampadu was excellent. Nemecha was excellent. I thought Longstaff came on. He did the basics. He did the basics well. Yeah, there was so many good performances yesterday. I thought the improvements needed, of course. We looked, a bit slack in the final third, but a lot of that was down our left hand side with Byram and Harrison. You know, that the combination will just not work if you're trying to be effective and clinical in the final third. But him being given a chance, I'll be honest, it winds me up. It just winds me up. So yeah, it is what it is. I guess it is what it is. Everton laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, is it just me or with the rest of the team ignoring him when he made a couple? And it's not a pylon. It's not a pylon. And I feel for the lad, but I also don't feel for the lad because he's on a massive wage per week. He's not exactly in good faith when it comes to Leeds fans. He's been booed, and it almost feels like Farke's taking it as a bit of a project, like he did with Verba, Aronson, and Junior Firpo, and he's just nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. Abdul Rahman, good to see you in here, mate. Hi, dear Connor. It's normal for Farke to speak highly of a player, especially if he wants to sell him. He can't speak badly of a player. Thank you for your great work, Abdul Rahman. You could be right, mate, and that's why I'm trying to offer a little bit of balance here, mate. I agree with you, and I'm hoping that there is a shop window effect here. But what I will say, Abdul Rahman, is and I think it's a positive trait of Daniel Farke. I think he will give a player a chance. And look, he might look at Jack Harrison and think, well, Moyes, Dyche, both wanted him. Both wanted him as signings. Apparently, Moyes still wants him, but Everton just aren't willing to pay the cash. They want Leeds to effectively cut a deal with them. So it's not like Jack's not going to give you hard work in a system based. What football is now is so system based that it's not about mavericks and it's not about individual brilliance. It's about players working within a system and being absolutely unequivocally sure in that system and working really hard. So some players are facilitated in formations, to be that player. Jack Harrison is that player, but we need quality to stay up. And when we're talking about the depth that we need on that left-hand side and that right-hand side, we've just got to get another level in. We've got to get another level in, and we cannot, as Lee says, we cannot take chances. And as well as, yeah, he's got to take these chances. And yesterday he didn't take the chance, did he? You saw Ramazani come on. Within about 5 minutes, Ramazani had 2 shots on goal. Jack Harrison struggled to get over the halfway line. What wage is Harrison on? Well, Capology, a few people were saying that I was wrong with this, but Capology is normally the best one, I think. So let's have a look at Jack Harrison's profile. So this is why I said 40 grand before, and people were saying, no, Connor, you've got it wrong. But I mean, it's saying 90 grand. It can't be 90 grand. He can't be on 90 grand a week. There's no way. I thought he was on 40 grand a week. Unless there was a split in the wages, there's no way Leeds have been paying 90 grand a week for 3 years now after his new contract. Surely not. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Ram said he did, Bob. He did, but he got beyond the halfway line, mate. He got beyond the halfway line, and at least he was shaping up to have a strike, mate. Shifting it on his right foot. He was dangerous, wasn't he? Jack Harrison didn't get beyond the halfway line. I think he did once, and he ballooned the ball out for a throw in. So, yeah. Need more than that than a heat map merchant to survive. Right, I'm on the exact same level with you, mate. Exact same level. Will Marseille be able to afford Tim Weah and Paixao? Fabrizio seems to think that Weah is here. We go to. Yeah, they're on different sides, mate. They're on different sides. So I don't know why not, I guess. I don't know why not. Render says he did a job on a Marcelo. So the talk of wanting that England call-up is so deluded. Harrison is a championship mid-table player. If Bamford is going, Harrison should be going. I agree with that. I agree with that. The 90K a week isn't verified on the website, to be fair. Yes, yeah, so it's hard to find. There's a few sites now where I've seen 40 grand. Then others are saying 90. There's no way he's on 90 grand. I just don't believe it. I do not believe he's on 90 grand a week. Let's try find it. Jack Harrison wages per week. Capology is normally pretty decent as well. I don't know where I saw for. Here we go. So Salary Sport has got it. So this is what Salary Sport's got it as. Okay, so I'm gonna get it on screen. So I know some of you guys will probably enjoy this anyway. I'm gonna look. I'm just gonna get it on screen. So this is what it's saying is on, right, Jack? So that's what he's on. Excuse me, that's what he's on apparently. So that's where I've seen it last time. So he's on 2 million here, but he's been on 40 grand, I think. Yeah, 40, 60. So he's never been on 90. I don't know where 90's from, to be honest with you. That's why I was always very skeptical of that. Said he's been on 90 grand for 3 years, which just isn't, it's just nowhere near true. Can't be. Yeah, so back to America. We'll wait and see. George says, I'm friends with a football agent, and he was trying to get rid of Harrison to MLS last year. And said he couldn't believe how much he was on a week. God, it's depressing. Right, let's have a look. George says, after Farke playing a back two yesterday, do you think he will ever utilize a back three, or see Strauch leaving for PSR to afford premium forwards? I think, yeah, George, I'll be honest with you. I've got a feeling about Strauch. He wasn't great yesterday, was he, Strauch? I didn't feel, but there was a lot of change. He was next to ball now, wasn't he? I think yesterday you saw sort of I don't know. I thought Rodon looked really good. I thought Beal looked really good, but we're going to have to partner Rodon with Strauch on the first day of the season, aren't we? So maybe that's what's in Leeds' mindset. Would you be willing to start ball now with Rodon? I don't know. I thought ball now looked okay. I thought under a press yesterday, a little bit of a more aggressive press, I thought his notion was a bit to not to pump it or anything like that, but to get rid of it. I think the passing lines are a little bit more slicker when you've got Rodon in there and Strauch in there. But and Beal, I think Bornau will probably be my fourth choice out of those four. So it'll be interesting to see, mate. It'll be interesting to see, but I'd love to see a back three. I've always said I'd like this. I think this side, but it'd have to be with Paixão and Rodrigo Muniz. I think the problem is you can see yesterday why we need a front man. I think we're struggling to cut the lines a little bit. We're struggling to be efficient in that final third. Nemecha was doing really well, but what I thought yesterday was maybe Nonto, and in particular in that first half, Harrison was struggling to get in and around him. So Nemecha was winning that first contact, but the players weren't getting in and around him often enough. And that's what we need to get, is a little bit of a few partnerships, a little bit more synergy. Because if Nemecha's winning that ball, he needs players in and around him. And Leeds was struggling a little bit with that. I think the three up top in particular, as I've said yesterday, there's an invisible rope. There's always an invisible rope there, and you're aligned with each other a little bit more often than not. And you got to think Jack Harrison's a little bit more of a defensive winger anyway, so I don't think he's got that mental thing to just fully fledge and go forward. And I respect that in a sense, because you don't want to leave yourself open. But I thought in particular on that left hand side with Byram and Harrison, I thought Casemiro, who was venturing in from that midfield on that right hand side. I thought Ahmad. I thought that's where they were getting in. That's where they were getting in. Casemiro at the bar, didn't they? But Ahmad was I thought he was doing really well against Byram and Harrison yesterday. So yeah. Right, let's have a look. Matteo. Okay, so conflicting reports yesterday, really, you come well, going into it. It's bizarre with Joseph. One day we're on here saying that Leeds are not willing to sell him. We're not. That's not happening. We insist. Strong word. Strong words. Insist he's not for sale. And then you come on. You listen to Farke yesterday and effectively say that every player's available. For any price really. Matteo, I believe, wasn't fit enough to play yesterday, wasn't available. Farke said that in his press conference, and he also said that we'll have to effectively wait and see what happens to Matteo Joseph. So it's not definitive that he's staying at Leeds United. Which we were reading before, and we're reporting on the rumor. There's some really good reports saying Leeds insist he's not for sale. I also said on that rumor mill that might be a negotiation strategy for Leeds United to just be like, yeah, he's not for sale. In negotiation for the other club to go, okay, we'll have to up the bid to an exponential level, at a real higher level. So I don't know. Once again, with Joseph, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think he might go. I think him and Bamford are going to go, of which, we can speak about Bamford now. Interesting. I didn't expect this when it came from Farke, to be honest with you, because I thought he was going to have that thing again where he was going to give him a chance. Doesn't appear to have happened. He's told Bamford that, he's not part of his plans. I think the same probably could be said for Joseph, even though he rates him as a player. Gives a little bit of room then for Rodrigo Muniz to come in, hopefully, doesn't it? So, yeah. Sunderland deal supposed to be off with Loriente. Could you guys go back in potentially, mate? I don't think we were ever in though. I don't think we were ever in for him. That was just me. That was just me. So Farke will give Harrison. Yeah, it is a bit odd. It is a bit odd. It's just a Harrison thing. It's like I said. Hopefully, as Abdul Rahman said, it's a shop window thing. It is a shop window thing. Ideally, what I'd like to happen is Joseph go out on loan, but keep him on the books, or Leeds have at least the first buyback on him. That's what I'd like, and a high sort of sell on as well when it comes to a percentage. What I'd like is Harrison to leave. I'd like Bamford to leave. That's fine. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah. Bamford's not proven enough, has he? I don't think Harrison has either. Okay, everybody. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining. Normally, we don't go on a Sunday. So, listen, we're going to be back this evening with the hard line. So make sure you get your notifications switched on for that. We're going to be going from 7 p.m. GMT, as always, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you later on. Like, comment, subscribe,